What up, boxing fans? What up, YTBC? What's going on with all of you, man? All right. I'm making this video. I'm trying to edify some of the viewers and some of the boxing fans. I realize that I realize that some of you are not really knowledgeable on certain things. I'm not saying you don't know you really completely don't know what you're talking about, but I see a lot of people don't really know how things work in the sport, especially when it comes to titles. All right. Let me explain something. In boxing today, starting from, let's go back from 98 or from 95 or something like that. Let's go way back then. From boxing today, there are only 4 titles that make you a world champion. All right? Only 4 that make you a world champion. Those 4 titles are the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. I'm going to explain the reasons why they make you a world champion. First and foremost, they have to be sanctioned, which means you have to pay sanctioning fees. All right? With this alone, I know a lot of people want to think that the Ring Magazine is an actual world title. It is not. The Ring Magazine is not a world title. They're not sanctioned. They're not. You don't have to pay a fee when you hold that belt. 2, the Ring Magazine used to actually keep track of lineal championships. But back in maybe 2001 or back in those days, maybe about 14 years ago, the Ring Magazine flopped because a lot of these champions were leaving the sport, like Sugar Ray and Marvin Hagler after their fight. A lot of these guys left the sport and left the lineage of the sport of the champions empty. All right. So when they flopped, guess who came in to rescue them? Oscar de la Hoya came in and bought the Ring Magazine. And he has these writers underneath him who only pick guys. They don't pick the actual real guys who should be the lineal champ. They pick the guys who are more popular. All right, they'll pick the more popular guy. All right, or the guy who they favor more because they are just writers under Oscar de la Hoya. All right, that alone taints the Ring Magazine selection. All right, if you want me to give you an example, I'll give you a perfect example. If you go back and look at Prince Nassim Hamed's record when he was a lineal champ, at the time in his weight class, he fought nobody in the top 9. The top 9 guys in his weight class, for him to be the lineal champion, he fought none of those guys, man. Go look it up. You'll see if I'm lying. He fought none of those guys. But they still give him the title. Why? Because he was a popular guy. He was a popular guy. He was making money, and he was paying his. Well, I won't say paying his fees because he wasn't paying no fees to the ring. But I'm just saying he was a popular guy, and that's how they make money. They're a magazine with writers. They don't have no sanctioning body with no mandatories. He doesn't have to fight anybody. And that brings me to the second point. To be a world title, you have to have mandatories. You have to have a list of top 10 guys, or let's say top 12, where your fighter, the champion, has to face somebody from that list. And it's a mandatory. And if he refuses to face people from that list for a while, he will get stripped. That's the difference between the major world titles, the 4 major world titles, and titles like the Ring Magazine, and the minor world titles, like the IBO, the WBU, the NABF, the NABA. Those titles, you pay some of them. You pay sanction fees because they got to make money somehow. But you don't have to, as the champion. You don't have no mandatory. You don't have to fight anybody in the top 10. You can just keep fighting guys from number 30 to number 25, and you get to keep your title as long as you keep paying your money. You understand? Those minor titles don't make you a world champion. Only 4 titles do. The WBA, the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. Because as a champion, you're required to fight certain competition. You can't just be fighting number 25 in the top 50 list and thinking that that's going to keep you your title. You got to fight the guys who are right there, top 10, top 12 guys. You got to fight those guys to keep you as a champion. The guys that are going to test you. Now, a lot of people want to get mad at me because I say Manny Pacquiao is not an 8 division world title holder, because he at one point in featherweight he only held a Ring Magazine title. All right, and at light welterweight he only held the IBO, which is a minor title, and a Ring Magazine title. You see what I'm saying? So people want to get mad at me for that, but I did not make the rules. All right. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Let's say you have all the minor titles together. Would that make you the undisputed champion of the world? It wouldn't. If you don't have no major titles, you could have all the minor titles, every last 30 of them, whatever, 25, how many freaking minor titles there are in the world. You still wouldn't be recognized as the undisputed champ. Let's say, okay, here's another example. Let's say you have 3 of the 4 major titles, and you have all of the minor titles. You are still not the world undisputed champion. Why? Because one of the major titles is still out there. So that means all the minor titles still don't equal to one of the major titles. The only way for you to be the undisputed champion of the world is if you're holding the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. Any other title besides one of those titles does not make you the undisputed champion. I'm trying to help people understand this, but it seems like when I talk about Pacquiao or when I talk about Floyd Mayweather, it's like people think with their emotions. They're not trying to understand what's really how the stuff work. They just go off with their emotions. In boxing today, you either have one of those 4 major titles to make you a world champion, or you are not considered a world champion. Okay? And that goes back to, like, I'll say probably since the 4 major titles came to be. All right? No other title besides those 4 will make you undisputed champion. And actually, the Hall of Fame, the Boxing Hall of Fame, does not recognize any other title but those 4 titles. So when a guy who's holding the NABA or the WBU claims to be a champion, he really isn't. He's holding a minor title. You know what those minor titles are really for? They're for guys on the bottom who are trying to get a shot at contenders. All right? They get these little trinkets so they can prove their worth, so they can fight contenders in the top 10. I'll say even top 15. So they can fight those guys. And once they fight those guys and get elevated, they can now then maybe go for a run at the real titles. So when you hold any of these titles, you are not a world champion. They're minor titles for a reason. You can't, it's just like football. Yeah, you're the NFC champ. You know what I'm saying? You could be the NFC champ. That doesn't make you a Super Bowl ring holder. You're not a Super Bowl champ. You could be the NFC champ, but you're not the Super Bowl champ. The NFC champ gives you a chance to become the Super Bowl champ. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, man. It's really easy to understand. You cannot be a world champion unless you have one of those 4 belts. And like I said, Manny Pacquiao at featherweight did not have one of those 4 belts. So he was not a world champion at that weight division. At light welterweight, he did not have one of those 4 major titles. He's not a world champion at that division. See, it's really simple. It's not a bad thing that he's only a 6th division world champ. That's rare, man. That's rare. I think there's like only a few guys who got that. You know what I'm saying? I think Oscar's one of those guys who got that. Oscar De La Hoya got like 6 division world championships. I think Floyd only got like 5. I'm saying it's not something that's that hard, man. That's that hard to understand. And him being a 6th division world champion is still great, man. It's impressive. 6th division world champion is impressive, man. There's nothing to be ashamed of. But I feel like people just go with their emotions, and instead of listening and trying to understand and comprehend how this stuff works, they rather get mad and upset. I mean, Ford himself has stuff about him that is not right. 17-year world champion? No. You weren't dominating for 17 years, and you weren't a world champion for 17 years. That's a lie. There's no look. The man wasn't a world champion since he stepped foot in the ring. He had to fight other fights before he got his first world championship. All right. Then not only that, he took years off. So it's not 17 years, man. And like I said, if you still don't understand this, after I broke it down to you like this, I don't know what else to tell you. You're either somebody who wants to believe whatever he wants to believe, or you're going to want to listen to the truth. Go on Ring Magazine's website. You'll notice the only champions they list on their website are the IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO champions on their rankings. Go look it up. You won't see a WBU champion on there. You won't see an NABA champion on there. And you definitely ain't going to see no IBO champion on there. The IBO does not require mandatories. They do not. That's what makes them not a world championship title. You have to have mandatories in order to be a world championship title. Those minor titles do not have those. They just want their check. Give them their sanctioning fee money. They're good. Anyways, man, I hope you guys actually understand how this works. I hope you understand how it works, man. The Ring Magazine is just a magazine title, man. Don't think the Ring Magazine is an actual title. All right? There are a bunch of guys who write. It's like Yahoo writing who's the lineal champ. If they choose the magazine, any magazine, hey, you know what? We choose this person as the lineal champ. They're a magazine. They have no sanctioning power. It don't matter what they say, because half the time what they say is not true. All right, half the time what they say is not real. So what they say don't mean nothing. Anyways, man, hopefully you guys understand the difference now between being an actual world champion and just being a title holder, a minor title holder, or a magazine title holder. All right, man, I'm out. Peace.